to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulation.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsOnTheD.com with Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. I said shalom, Big E. Hello. Hi, Jay.
Miguel, how are you, sir?
I am tremendous.
Yeah, you got some good news today.
Dude,
Just moments ago.
Do you remember the days when I didn't have running water?
Yeah.
When
Those were hard times, Mike.
It was, it harkens me back to the 1800s, where it just wasn't commonplace to have running water through the household. And
wagon trains and such. It does harken back.
I mean, to go through that, I feel like a better man for living through those hard times. I've often wondered, could I survive?
You were roughing it.
Yeah, and to not have running water in the house for as long as I did, it's a humbling experience.
To have to go 3 blocks down the street to your girlfriend's house.
Yeah.
It's the most pretentious shower I've ever seen or heard of.
If you have to poop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you know how hard that is?
I went ahead and pooped in there.
Yeah.
I just upper decked it.
Yeah.
No?
Well,
is that a problem?
I'm not supposed to do that, but we can have E clean that out later. But yeah, dude, it's a roughing it is harder than I thought. I mean, it's been snowing, and to walk all the way. I mean, if I had to walk all the way to her house, it would have been impossible. I would have died halfway there. But going over there and, if I wanted a glass of water, for instance. I mean, it's just been really tough. But today, we got water back on.
Yeah, the well is good to go.
It is. Turns out it was a bad wire.
Bad wire.
Yep.
Don't usually put those two things together.
Nope.
The water, stopped, and it's the wire. It's wiring. It's electrical.
Phil took care of it, though.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, Big Phil came over here.
God bless you, Phil.
And took care of that. He was a gentleman and a pro, and then he had John with him from New Zealand.
Is that right?
Son of a bitch. I had to stop him in mid-sentence. He was explaining what was going on. I was like, John, not right now. This isn't about getting water back on. Where are you from? Like, that was what was important in that moment. It was like, he said something, mate. I'm from New Zealand, mate. And I was like, oh, fuck yes, that's better than Sydney's accent.
What brings him to your doorstep, man?
I don't know, but it turns out he was in a punk band in high school.
Is that right?
Yeah, and so apparently he sings songs. If we ever need someone to sing songs for us from New Zealand, John's our man. So thank you to those guys for coming over and handling the heavy lifting and getting running water and plumbing back.
It's important.
It is. It's very important. Anyway, how's your day going? You've been here quite a while.
Yeah, well, you've got several things going on in the house today.
Yeah.
Not just the water, but furnace issues and so forth.
Sure,
so, it's been a mixed-up day. We also got to go see our buddy Steve Gabara out there in Royal Oak.
It's a nice little break in the mayhem of RFOS. Was to head over to what
RFOS.
Is he a restaurateur now? A restaurantee or tour? He's a
tour. Yeah,
he's not a T. He's a tour.
He is a very dynamic, ubiquitous businessman.
Ooh, ubiquitous. I like that. Yeah. So we went over to hopped over to his joint for a on the house meal as ownership.
I think we've been out to lunch with him probably 8 times. Mm-hmm. He pays every time.
Well, he always goes to
like that.
Places where he's important, and they don't want our money.
Yeah.
And so, thank God he's important. But yeah, I went over to, was it Mesa and Tequila?
Indeed.
Is that the name of it in Royal? God, is that location fucking amazing, man. Of all places.
4th and Main?
Dude, 4th and Main.
Doesn't get any better,
Oak.
Mike.
That's just like, it's the perfect spot in a great little city. And so we went over there and ate some food, had some fun, discussed the greatness of our show.
We broke bread.
We did. And it was fun. So anyway, but we're here now. We finally made it. I was waiting to come down here and have you just go, fucking them out, dude. I can't.
Yeah, I am.
I've been here for hours and hours and hours.
At this point, time's getting a little tight. I got to be honest with you at this point.
Yeah.
Got responsibilities, Mike.
E came up and was like, if Jay's got to go, it's fine. I got it. I can handle the heavy lifting. And
Sure.
So thank God we don't have to deal with that.
Hey, the auto show is here, and that can only mean one thing: insane deals from your friends at Zott Ford and Holly. SUVs are the flavor of the month. Lease a new 18 Ford Escape as low as $144 a month, or lease a new 18 Ford Edge as low as $188 a month. We'd say it again, but I'd get pissed. So hit rewind or go to DealsOnTheD.com to see these deals plus many more.
I see that the initial media portion of the North American International Auto Show is going on in Detroit.
Correct.
I saw a tweet from Mr. Roop Raj, as
Is
you
that
know
right?
him. Yeah, and he got just fucking stone-faced by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger's there today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Mr. Raj was like, Arnold, what do you think of this and that? And Arnold was like,
I do not have time.
He's not having it. It was like, I don't give a shit if it's Roop Raj or God himself not talking to you, and just about-faced on him, which was interesting. But, I guess being turned away about-faced by Arnold.
What was Arnold doing there?
I was taking in the vehicles. I don't know.
Bullshit. What's he pushing?
He was there with a bunch of people around him, and he was just kind of looking.
He's not taking in the vehicles, Mike. What's he pushing?
He was taking in a vehicle.
Oh, like Celine Dion was there 10 years ago just taking in the vehicles? No, she was there for Chrysler or some shit.
He mumbled something about, I'll be back, and then he stormed off. I don't know. I don't know what he was there for. It appeared to me as if he was taking in the vehicles.
He's not taking it.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think he appears at the opening of the press week at the North American International Auto Show to take in the vehicles.
You think he's got a new movie or something to promote, or
he's got a deal with one of these manufacturers?
Yeah, maybe. Well, Roop Raj only showed me at 30 seconds, and in that 30 seconds, he was taking in a vehicle and blowing Roop Raj off. That's all I know at this point. Schnapps and cowboy hats top off Detroit. Mercedes. And okay, so Arnold is here for Schnapps and Mercedes, apparently. Lots of stuff going on. Continuation from yesterday when we were here. Although, sad news, man. I think of us as Cranberries fans. We like Linger. Big fans of Zombie.
Zombie, zombie, zombie. E, does that ring a bell at all?
I know that song.
Yeah. Why were we singing that originally a year ago? Were they up for possible induction into a
maybe, or maybe the word
Fame?
zombie was used somewhere?
Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah,
that would trigger it with this room,
and it set us spinning off into a rendition.
If you want to hear the original and not our a cappella version of Zombie, here's a taste of it. I loved this voice.
Oh yeah.
Zombie. I always kind of found her kind of hot. I don't know if it was the accent.
A little bit.
Yeah. Where she's from Ireland, right? From Ireland?
Yeah.
Like green stars, yellow moons, purple clovers, that place, right?
It's not my family in your head, They are fighting with their bombs and their bombs and their bombs and their bombs. In your head, they are crying. In your head, in your head, zombie, 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 in your head. What year was this?
Dude, like early 90s, mid 90s, we probably got
big.
kicked off
It was
YouTube.
big.
The song was fucking huge,
That
man.
and Linger.
Yeah. Oh. When does she do the go forward further? Because I really want to hear her do that. With their guns and their bombs and their tanks and their bombs. The way she would do that. Dying.
Yeah.
You're good, E.
Very Irish.
Very Irish indeed. That's a powerful voice out of this tiny little wee wisp of a woman. Your head, in your head. Zombie, zombie, Dolores O'Riordan.
She got really sick of singing that song over her career, I have a feeling.
You think, but that thing's paid the bills for
Sure.
30 years.
Sure.
I mean, do you want to hear a taste of Linger? Was that their only hits, Linger and Zombie?
I mean, probably, yeah, those are probably their two big ones.
Okay, she's died young. If you didn't know, did we mention that Dolores O'Riordan
I don't think so. I think
passed
we just
away
started singing Zombie.
Yeah, this morning at 9:05 in a hotel.
Doesn't sound good, Mike.
No, we don't have many details yet.
46 years old, London hotel.
Okay, dead at 46, Linger Zombie. Is that now enough to get you into a hall?
No.
No?
I don't,
Dude, what are
I don't
you,
know.
heartless?
Maybe they have worldwide sales that I don't know about, but
If I said lingering zombie, she's alive, I understand why you would say not hall worthy, but now I add dead under
Who
the
knows?
top of
That Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is bullshit. We've gone over
I know.
that every year.
Give us a taste of linger. Linger. Oh, the ballad. Go ahead, further.
Yeah, this song kind of sucks.
Have to let it linger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to let it linger? It's no zombie.
Yeah, it's no
It's no, it's not that. But it sounds like she had some problems. She was performing with a new band called Dark.
Dark.
D period A period R period K period.
Wonder what it spells.
I don't know.
Wonder what it stands for.
You-
Well, I know what it spells. It spells dark, but I wonder what it stands
Do you
for.
think it's an acronym?
It sounds to be.
The periods gave it away,
Yeah,
didn't it?
it's the periods.
Yep.
The all caps.
She was staying in London while recording. Her publicist did not comment on how she died other than to say it was sudden and the family is devastated.
Yep.
Not good. It's not a combination you want to read after your death, you know. Surrounded by loved ones, peaceful, that kind of thing. Sudden and unexpected, devastated is not what you want to hear. Metro Police, it's O'Riordan, right? It's kind of spelled weird.
O'Riordan?
Or I thought her name was Dolores O'Riordan.
Okay.
But it's Riordan. Riordan? I don't know. Anyway, they said she was found in a hotel room in Park Lane at 9:05 this morning. The death is being treated as unexplained. The statement from the publicist just said Irish and international singer Dolores O'Riordan has died suddenly in London today. She was 46. Family members are devastated to hear the breaking news and have requested privacy at this very difficult time. James Corden wants to be part of the story. He apparently met her at a train station at 15 and got an autograph.
Oh, is that right?
She was lovely and very
Was
nice.
she? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Insert yourself, James.
She was kind and lovely. I got her autograph on my train ticket. It made my day.
Rest in peace.
And then we've got, let's see, Duran is absolutely crushed to hear this news. Just crushed to hear this news. And
Yeah, she was married to their tour manager or some shit.
yeah, for a while, for like 20 years, I think. But when I hear that, like, are we speaking for all of Duran, or are we strictly talking about, did Simon Le Bon say he was crushed? Was it John Taylor that was crushed? Did we get a consensus?
Aren't there like 3 Taylors in Duran Duran?
There's an Andy, Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget Nick Rhodes. I want to know that all 5 members were consulted this morning.
Keyboardist Nick Rhodes.
Yes. That floppy hair.
God, those guys.
So
Her name is Rio, and she's dancing on the sand, just like the river running through the Rio Grande.
Hungry like the wolf. Hungry like the wolf. Hungry like the wolf. Chicks love Duran, man. That was
Yeah, they were big.
Le Bon. Something about Le Bon.
Shake his can up there.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was just. They were kind of like a.
The reflex, flex.
Is that the one with the wave that came out over the?
Yeah.
They were big in the video game.
Oh,
early.
they had hugely successful video games.
They had
or
sexy
videos early.
chicks,
Yep.
and yeah, and they were.
They just had the look of the 80s band, a bunch of dudes, you know?
Yeah. Would you say Duran is kind of a, because they're in that alternative. They're not rock, they're not punk, but they're kind of in the U2 REM realm. But I don't want to. I'm not comparing like success, but in that time, would a U2 fan would be a Duran fan, right?
Maybe. They'd have similar hair during that time period.
Yes, true.
U2 had more of an edge, though, than Duran.
Was it one of the Taylors had like crazy swoop, and Le Bon had a crazy do for a while. But yeah, I don't know. But their thoughts are going out to the family at this difficult time, in case you were wondering. Last year, Dolores had revealed that she'd been diagnosed with bipolar. That's not a good one, because that means you've been acting like an insane person around everybody for a long time before they finally came to the realization that, oh, yeah, she'd been battling depression most of her career. She told Metro, one of the UK papers, There are two ends of the spectrum. You can get extremely depressed and dark, lose interest in the things you love to do. Then you can get super manic. I was at the hypomanic side of the spectrum, on and off for a long period. But generally, you can only last at that end for around 3 months before you hit rock bottom and go into deep depression. When you're manic, you don't sleep. You get very paranoid, so I'm dealing with it with medication. I didn't even know the Cranberries released an album last year.
Oh, God.
In 2017.
No,
Did you know that?
Hell no.
They had some dates.
Honestly, Zombie and Linger are all I know of the Cranberries.
So you're saying, like, if the show starts at 9, you want to get there at 10, 20,
Yeah.
catch Linger and then Zombie and then call it a night.
Yeah.
Buy a T-shirt and get the hell out of there. So they had a U.S. tour and a European tour, and they had to cancel it due to health concerns for her.
Mm-hmm.
Health concerns for anyone else in the Cranberries is irrelevant. You just
I gotta
pluck
tell you, Mike,
anyone out of the crowd to play. But
fuck the Cranberries. I'm looking at Duran Duran songs.
there's a lot of them, aren't there?
Save a prayer till the morning after.
Wait, which one was the one for...
Wild Boys! Wild Boys!
Which one was for 007, the Bond
A
film?
View to a Kill.
Yeah.
Dude.
What else do they have?
Union of the Snake. Da, 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 da.
Were you a Duran Duran guy?
I know these. Girls on Film.
Girls on Film
2
is
minutes
huge.
later. You don't know that? Come
No,
on.
I know all of these, but I wouldn't.
New
be able-
Religion.
New Religion, yeah.
New Moon on Monday. Seven and the Ragged Tiger. Remember that album?
No.
Seven and the Ragged Tiger.
Let me see. Are you looking at a picture of it?
No, I'm just looking at a listing.
What are their other ones? Did they have?
Arena that had the Wild Boys.
What was the one before that with like
Rio.
Rio, okay.
Yeah, Rio was huge.
Was Hungry Like the Wolf on there?
Yes.
Oh, it
Save
was.
a Prayer. Rio was on there, obviously.
Save a Prayer was huge. E, do you know any of these
No,
songs?
I don't. Honestly,
You don't know Hungry Like the Wolf or
Usually, when you guys say this, if you start singing it, I do know it. I don't know. I haven't known one of these songs.
Hungry Like
Hungry
the Wolf?
Like the Wolf.
Do you have Hungry Like the Wolf there, E? You would have to know that, right?
It's a very sexual video, E.
Dude, that's like knowing Penny Lane. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like you don't have to be born in that era. I wouldn't think Hungry Like the Wolf was massive.
Yeah.
Got it there, E?
I'm on the hunt down after you. Hungry like the wolf.
Hungry Like the Wolf. Isn't there some chick that's like,
Oh yeah. It's like he's
the end of it?
going through the jungle and she's chasing him. She's like a see they're going through like some here we go. He's in the jungle, he's being chased by her.
I want to hear Orgasm Chick at the end. Go towards, fast forward. Isn't that when she's going,
Oh yeah. There she is.
that bad electric. He's going to go around the horn here with the electric drums. Go get it, drummer. Go get it.
Interracial relationship about to occur.
Yeah, this was dangerous at the time. There he is. He's not going to kiss her. She's black and he's white.
She's beating his ass in the jungle.
Yeah. Is that bad to have a black woman playing an animal in the jungle? Is that distasteful? Could you do that
Back
today?
then she was exotic. Now, MLK Day 2018 might be risky.
Great point.
Look at these guys, dude. Look at these pretty boys. That was the thing. Half of these guys were all about their looks.
I
you
know.
It was
Oh,
just-
yeah. Here she is. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. We're going to get our shit pulled. But anyway, that's sad, man. That's terrible news. Seeing that Dolores died. I hadn't thought about her in a long time, but she's just a wee little thing. Just a wisp of a woman. And
You mentioned that.
she's had a few issues over the years. She split with her husband of 20 years, Don Burton, in 2014. She would use music, dancing, and performing to improve her mental health. That's good.
That's creative.
February of 2016, she had a conviction for assault at an airport where she thought it was a good idea to headbutt, kick, hit, and spit on police officers. She also had 3 assault charges after being taken off an Air Cunnilingus flight from New York's JFK to Ireland.
Air what?
They meant Air Cunnilingus. It's Cunnilingus, right? Air Cunnilingus was the flight. Anyway, and that was in 2014. It's like I'm just like, dude, what are you, a tough guy? You're like 4'8", 86 pounds. What are you doing? What are you going to beat up a bunch of
manic
cops?
depressive thing going on? I guess.
You think so?
Yeah, bipolar.
She probably ordered a vodka and cranberry, I'm guessing, and they didn't have it.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and so she just hit the roof. I mean, it was on. Anyway, you did mention Dr. King, Martin Luther the King, his special day. We went through some of his speech yesterday.
Yeah, I think we hit most of the high points.
Yeah.
Right at the close of the show.
Yeah, I mean, we had the gist of it, basically, that I have a dream that like neighborhood kids and stuff can swing on swings together and something like that.
It's
right?
paraphrasing, but you're right there.
Yeah, but I'm close. 7 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I knew this was going to be tough because Donald Trump, the president, has to say something to commemorate Martin Luther King Day, and he's coming off the whole shithole thing.
His racist comments.
I've asked a lot of people about the shithole comment. Just like, hey, just out of curiosity, Trump calling every person to a man. It's just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Whatever.
They're
Great,
shithole
good.
countries.
Yeah, they are. Why are we hiding that fact? Why would you declare someone a racist for that? I don't get what all the hubbub is about. So, anyway.
Well, people in your circles, of course they'd answer that way.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, Trump tweeted a videotape statement hailing the king, Martin Luther, and his dream of racial harmony. Hours after declaring himself, I'm not a racist. No, I'm not a racist. I guess they caught him at Mar-a-Lago, and reporters just like, are you a racist? They're all doing that thing. And he's like, he said, quote, no, I am not a racist. I'm the least racist person you have ever interviewed. That I can tell you. Does that sound like something the least racist person in the world would say about
I have
themselves?
black friends.
It's such a weird. I use the best words. I'm the least racist person you've ever met. Like, that is such a declaration.
He's never had a real way with words, though, Mike.
True.
You got to bake that into the whole thing.
Well,
the president of the United States is racist.
See, Don Lemon thinks he is.
Declared it such.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've got a little bit of what the president said. How much of this do you think he wrote? How much of
Is it articulate?
I'll let you know. He says, Dr. King's words have inspired Americans of all backgrounds since they were spoken on that historic day.
Written for him.
Really? You don't think he was capable of that line? Dr. King's dream is our dream. Dream. It's the American dream. It's the promise stitched into the fabric of our nation.
Written for him.
No. Mr. Trump would not say stitched into the fabric of our
No.
nation. There's no chance of that.
Anytime there's like reflection upon the nation as a whole and history, it's been written for him.
Okay, so you don't think he wrote stitched into the fabric?
I mean, I'm not trying to tear
nation.
the dude down with everything he says, but it's true, right? I mean, he
Well, I don't
speaks
know.
on
That's
a superficial level, and
Let me finish that sentence and see if you think, well, he was in the room when they wrote it and he added that. Okay. It's the promise stitched into the fabric of our nation,
it's bigly. He added that part.
etched into the hearts of our people, and written into the soul of humankind.
No way.
What? You don't think he added humankind? Nothing?
Speechwriter all over it.
It's the dream of a world where people are judged by who they are, not how they look or where they come from. It's the dream of a nation that offers life and dignity and hope to every American, regardless of color or creed.
Yeah.
I like that movie Creed. It was very good. The black one fought really hard. You could tell he was a hard worker. Creed was good. Favorite movie of last year. So he's gonna of course he's gonna catch shit for that. But what's he?
No,
supposed
have
to
you ever
do?
heard him talk off the cuff, like in a very reflective way or a deep way? No, it's just not him.
Yeah.
And dude, every president does it. I mean, they
Yeah.
all they all have the speech writers. Even the best speeches out there that people look back, oh, Obama, before Congress on this date or whatever. Dude, it was written for him.
Yeah.
It's all written for him.
Well, do we have a second of Dr. King's speech? I don't mean to make light of it. It's a very important speech in our history. I have a dream. What is the basic that young boys and girls are judged by the content of their character, not the color of their
There you
skin.
go.
And
You're
know,
on it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's hear Dr. King. And we learned from our interview with the guy that wrote the book Detroit.
David Moranis.
Yes, that speech was originally said
Here in Detroit.
Here in Detroit. It was a little different version.
It's kind of his first draft of it.
Yeah, he was
But
working
with
it out.
That cadence of I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream.
And I believe he used I Have a Dream.
Yeah.
It was that whole I have a dream, but, it was like, I have a dream.
It's kind of a first draft of that. Mm-hmm. Of
And
course,
then-
the one that is known to everybody was stated in Washington, D.C., correct?
And like a month later or 2 months later, I can't remember exactly what David said, but yeah, I found that interesting. Like, holy shit, really? This guy's working this thing out like a comedy routine on the road?
Yeah, like Big E at CJ's.
Yeah. You got to go ahead, E. Play a second of it there.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day
Yes.
this nation will rise up and live out the
Look for
true
my mom in the
meaning of
background.
its creed. We hold
mom
these
protesting
truths
there?
to be self-evident
She marched with
that
Dr.
all
Martin Luther
men
King.
are created equal.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, how shitty that this guy was gunned down.
I know.
Man. I mean, that's just.
Do you remember where?
I have a dream
I don't.
Memphis or
Tennessee, yeah.
Memphis?
that one day on the red
Isn't that
hills
awful?
of Georgia,
That must have just been
sons
like,
of former
really?
slaves and the
It's
sons
not
of former
that it's
slave owners
that much better anyways. I mean, when Obama was elected, it was like, oh fuck.
Oh, right.
You know
Please
what I mean?
don't kill him.
Yes, all it takes is one fucking
Yeah.
monster to set things back so far. And I hate even talking about this subject, but I worry about that with Trump too. Where it's like there is so much divisiveness that it wouldn't take much. But anyways, by the time most people hear this, it will have been the day after, and we're probably looked at as assholes for even being here on Martin Luther King Day. But
Very disrespectful.
yes, we chose to honor in our own specific way, and we don't need to discuss what that is. That's personal.
That's right. We
And
reflected
rest
in our
assured-
own personal ways.
Yeah, we all have done that. So
I want to
Maybe you didn't, E, but we did. You
Yeah.
haven't been with us
Dude,
all
we've been
day.
together
What did
all
you do?
day.
What did
We
you-
ate tacos
Not
at
you.
Mesa with
I'm
Gabara,
not talking
okay?
about you. I'm talking about Mike.
I said it's personal, and we all reflected and honored in our own specific ways. What did you do, E?
Jesus.
I didn't say that I did or didn't do anything.
So you didn't. You didn't do anything.
I want to know what you did.
What I told you it's personal. What did you do?
I would rather.
He did nothing. He did nothing. Way
You
to
didn't
go,
even know
E.
it was his day, did you?
At least I'm not lying, I guess.
And he calls me a liar too. Nice. E.
Hey, Hamlin Pubs is inviting you to their 5 Metro Detroit locations. Come enjoy Hamlin Pub's great food, drinks, and atmosphere. Whether you're watching the game with your buddies, out for a meal with the family, or out for an evening with your girl, it's always a great time at their Rochester, Clarkston, Chesterfield, and 2 Shelby Township locations.
Jay, I meant to ask you.
Ask away, Mike. Ask me anything.
I kept thinking of it last night when we were wrapping the show up, and then I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I gotta remind Jay," and then I plumb forgot. And I meant to ask Beth as well. I wanted you to go home, and maybe you could do this today, and get Gab's opinion on the claw. I'm wondering, like,
yeah, I can probably tell you.
I know you scoff, but I want to know what Gab thinks. Like, if you're like, what do you think? I'm thinking about working out a new move. I just learned about it. It's called the claw. I believe Aziz Ansari has trademarked it.
I think her answer would be, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I don't know if I should spring it on Beth, or if we should have a discussion about the claw before I move in.
It's so
and use
hot.
it.
It's such a hot move.
So anyway, Aziz Ansari, and you knew this was coming, that he was going to have to make some sort of public statement referencing the girl that he went on the date with and chased her around his apartment, basically just using the claw, which is, if you didn't listen yesterday, 2 fingers in a V shaped, jamming them into her mouth, down her throat, getting the saliva from her, and then using that to moisten the vagina.
It's just hot.
Yeah.
I will say, she just says that it's happened, by the way. I'm just saying, it's not necessarily 100% true that he did this.
Well, let's read what he says.
I'm just saying.
He was saying basically the encounter was completely consensual by all indications that he had at the time. His denial comes a day after this anonymous woman offered the allegations about their date, their date that were highly detailed, claiming he had pressured her for sex at the apartment over the course of the night, a night which the claw made several appearances. I mean, several appearances. So his full statement of sexual misconduct claims. And I want to get your opinion on if you think this is enough, because people have gone out of their way tripping over each other to like throw support to the movement.
Yeah.
And they've had to be really careful about how they word it, because they will be victim blamed. They will be shamed immediately.
Yeah, these relationships are complicated. These interactions
Yeah.
are complicated, as we talked about yesterday. Like, where did he go wrong? What might she have done next time?
Right.
If in this position, it's just.
And we're in this weird stage where you can't even, because there were a lot of points when we went through the whole article yesterday, and there were plenty of points in there where it was like, I would have done a different move right there.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was
As the girl, like, yeah,
right. But we had to be careful about trying to like not blame her, because it's true that if you were scared and you didn't know and like, oh, am I being a bitch? Am I being a prude? Am I doing this wrong? Am I sending the wrong? Like, you could see someone in their mind. So we got to be careful. Yeah, it's tricky.
And it's not just tricky us trying to toe a line so that we sound right. It's a tricky, complicated interaction.
Yes. It's not the bright line that you always think of when it's like, oh, grab a girl by the hair, pull her into the weeds, and rape her, versus how far is too far? What is the game? How much of the game is cool to play versus now you're just being a harasser? So anyway, Aziz, his publicist, released the following statement. In September of last year, I met a woman at a party. So far, so good. We exchanged numbers. We texted back and forth. Eventually went on a date. Went out to dinner, and afterwards we ended up engaging in sexual activity, which by all indications was completely consensual. In fact, the claw is my trademark move, and I've never gotten negative feedback. All right, that last sentence might have been added, but it fits.
In fact, the claw.
Okay, he didn't say that last part. The next day, I got a text from her saying that although it may have seemed okay, upon further reflection, she felt uncomfortable. It was true that everything did seem okay to me, so when I heard that it was not the case for her, I was surprised and concerned. I took her words to heart and responded privately after taking the time to process what she had said. I continue to support the movement that is happening in our culture. It is necessary and long overdue.
Yeah. I mean, after reading the account yesterday, and if you take that as true, and he aptly points out that it may not be exactly the way that she explained it, although he didn't go into detail as to how it wasn't. If you take that as true, I believe there are a lot of points where a guy ought to have known, look, strong signal that this is off for tonight. This is not going to happen. She doesn't want this. But he kept prying.
Well,
and that's wrong.
If you think about it from the perspective of her in hindsight recollecting the night, right? And if her mindset is, I was uncomfortable, I was scared the whole time, then he sounds like a fucking monster who's just chasing her around this place, trying to jam fingers in her.
But it didn't sound. She didn't articulate fear in there, though. That was my thing. Like, God, I mean, she was like, I'm uncomfortable with that. I don't want to do that. I told him no. But then, then we went over, and I thought he'd just brush my hair, and so she wasn't like fearful that the guy was gonna like strangle her or something.
Right.
It didn't seem. Although, as you premised the story with, I mean, we don't know what sort of pressure she's feeling.
Yeah.
We don't know how a woman feels or reacts in that situation.
In his defense, and this I tread lightly here because this is a hard place to go, but if you're in the moment with a girl and say you guys are making out on the counter, obviously the claw is a great move to pull out in that time. And if she hesitates and you withdraw the claw and too soon, and then you go back to making out, and then you're over here, you pull the claw again, hey, where do you want me to fuck you? And she's playing along, you think she's into it, and then over various times it's like she's just not ready to go to that fuck level. She's not ready to have sex because
she half filleted.
Right. She's
but that's
at one
the most
point.
you've gotten.
He does the point and look down, clear. I'm looking for a BJ. She starts doing it. So if the mindset is she's a terrified girl feeling like, oh my God, I have to do this, then it's awful. But in Aziz's defense, if he feels like, she's gamer, we're just kind of getting warmed up, and now we're over here, the truth probably lies somewhere in between there. But I
think it's fair to say, even from her rendition, that there were mixed signals during the evening.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised, honestly, when I first read the account, and I'm reading it, it's like, oh man, she's pushing you away, she's pushing you away. And then he asked me to blow, and I'm like, I can't believe he said that. Why would you, in that moment, decide now's a good time to say, suck my dick? And then she's doing it. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's like, what is missing here from this sentence to this sentence? It seems outrageous that this would be the next move and that would be the response. You know what I'm saying? So there's obviously something in that timeline.
I'd have to review the film, Mike.
I would too. I wish we had that. I think personally, when I read that, this seemed like a very cold statement from Aziz Ansari. Not blaming him, but I think what most people are getting praised for, and I don't know what the response is to this one, but he's basically going, yep, I met a girl, changed numbers, went to dinner. I thought we hooked up consensually. She doesn't think so. I'm a fan of the movement.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Most people are going, this absolutely shames me that I thought that I could be capable of something like that as a.
But
as
you don't
a
like
proud
those responses.
No, but I would expect something like more from Aziz Ansari.
I
I'm
think
talking
that seems like a
specifically.
more real response to me, though.
Maybe so, but from someone who's gone on Letterman and bragged about what a proud feminist he is, and you should be a feminist too, and all the things he's done, I would think that guy, it would be very, very important, whether bullshit or not, that he would craft something that was very much like, even though I thought I was doing everything right, I thought I respected women to the fullest degree more than anyone. More than anyone. This shows how close this can be, and if there's any hesitation, you need to back off because their point of view matters, and hashtag me too. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just shocked.
I don't know.
Sounds like he didn't want to get into the facts at all. He just wanted to make
maybe.
a blanket statement and move on.
Sometimes I'm just shocked by your response, though, because I swear to God, like, dude, I feel like if you read that, what you just said, you would just say, "Oh, bullshit, he had to say this," and I think their response.
I probably would,
but I know, so I guess that's my point. I think he gave more of a kind of a real response, just, "Hey, dude, I texted this girl, we went on a date, I thought it was good, I guess it wasn't. If it wasn't, I feel bad, and the movement is real." And so I'm just shocked that you're like ripping that apart.
No, I understand kind of what you're saying, E, but
it just seems like sometimes when you get the response,
and you're right. Maybe I would make fun of that statement and go, bullshit. But my point is, someone that has done as much for women and like played on that, whether it's his comedy or his show or his books, or his TV appearances and interviews, like he's that guy. He's woke as fuck. He's a woke bae. And so for that guy, I would expect him to come over the top with a statement of support and blah, blah, blah. And it just kind of felt cold to me. Here are the facts as they're laid out. And maybe he's fuming fucking pissed going, that fucking bitch. Are you kidding me? She had the nerve to bitch about my white wine too? Are you shitting me? She was all game. She
It
was
would be
all
so
game.
surreal for her, dude. She happens to have the same
I
camera
buy-
as the guy at an after party. All of a sudden, she's hooking up with him, and she's looking in the mirror as he's like dry humping her ass, you know. And that had to be surreal.
By the way,
Little Aziz
now
on
that you guys, now that we've heard the whole story, you know, I kind of scoffed at that at the beginning, that wine remark, and you guys were like, "Oh, well, she's getting into the details," and then we read 10 minutes more, I think, of the thing. I do think more that I think that's ridiculous that was added into that remark. No, I just do. I think if it's all about this sexual assault thing, the thought that it was, well, he offered me white and I like red, I think it's ridiculous.
Jay nailed it. I think Jay nailed it yesterday because I was thinking the same thing. Like, what a snotty thing to say. But Jay, you were right when you said
it bears credibility when you remember such detail.
See, I think it doesn't. I don't know. I think.
Well, you would have a problem if she was really cloudy on the day, and people will do that. They'll go, "Oh, she said it happened June 15th." Well, I was in London June 15th, and it's like, well, it's around that time. So when someone goes, I remember, you know, white, I'm more of a fan of red, but all he had was white. We drank that, and we went to this establishment.
Sets the table to the reader. Believe me.
Yeah.
I know what happened that night.
Yeah. There are more women getting pounded, and this actress, I don't know her. She's older, Catherine Deneuve, some French actress. And, you know, this is where I think this movement needs to be really careful about how they react to people that might have a frank discussion like we just had, where is it
or like
is
a
it,
Matt Damon kind of discussion?
Yeah, is it fair to go, boy, there were a lot of signals here that should have been picked up on, and you know, that teachable moment, whatever, you got out of there, you weren't raped, that's great, but in the future, you know, these should be looked at as points of
Some might say she was assaulted, Mike. I mean, the claw is pretty assaultive.
It is. I would agree.
You're, you know, digitally penetrating, but I see your point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you could have made it a lot less assaultive if you just said, you know what, it's been a great night. I had explosive diarrhea in your bathroom. I gotta go, and then walk out. That's my point. So anyway, this legendary French actress, Catherine Deneuve.
So legendary, we've never heard of her.
Yeah, we have to just say that she's legendary because that's what the news story said.
Makes
Never
it a bigger
heard of her.
story.
Catherine Deneuve issued a clarification Sunday, and this sucks. Where it's like, I was part of something. I was part of an article, giving my opinion, and now I have to clarify and write a letter to let everyone know that.
Reminds me of Donna Karen, right? Wasn't it?
Yes.
Donna Karan, the designer, a couple
Yeah.
months ago that kind of came out in the same fashion.
Yeah,
No pun intended.
Yeah. But in her defense, she was jet lagged.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, she was jet lagged.
Just gotten off a plane
But
from
she gave this like
Amsterdam.
long, articulate point, like
Yeah.
well thought out.
About
Yeah.
like, what do you expect, ladies? You dress like a fucking skank, and people might
That's
react
what it was,
to it.
yeah. It was the dress, yeah.
Yeah, your tits are hanging out, your ass is hanging out, half your labia's falling out of your, open crotch panties.
Majora and menorah.
Exactly. And you're acting all of a sudden like, oh my God, how dare anyone? But it was jet lag speaking, so we give her a pass on that. And so feminists are just attacking the shit out of these people. Anyone that says anything that's not, oh my God, poor victim, #MeToo, you're a monster. And so that's where I think this is dangerous. And so you appear to be defending men for their behavior, and they're not having it. So she was part of 100 people in creative industries who signed an open letter condemning the puritanism sparked by the spate of sexual harassment scandals and declaring that men should be free to hit on women. She published her own letter in which she apologized to victims and blah, 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 and anyone who felt offended. The open letter was in a magazine called Le Monde and said, while rape is a crime, men trying to seduce women, even persistently, is not. Men have been punished summarily, forced out of their jobs when all they did was touch someone's knee or try to steal a kiss. The letter attacked feminist social media campaigns like #MeToo and its French equivalent, balance ton porc. Do you know what balance ton porc
I don't.
means? Theirs is better than Me Too, dude. #call out your pig.
Call out your pig.
Call
Nice.
out your
Okay.
pig, huh?
Yeah.
If you want to remember that, it's balance ton porc. P-O-R-C, like pork, like a pig. So for unleashing this puritanical wave of purification, it claimed that legit protest against the sexual violence that women are subject to, particularly in their professional lives, had turned into a witch hunt, which, behind closed doors, ladies, a lot of people are feeling that way. A lot of people. Liam Neeson came out the other day.
Did he?
Yeah, he's outside of being known as having the biggest hog in all of Hollywood. And it's a shame you never went into Hollywood, Jay. I mean, maybe you could, compare, like maybe you could take that title from him. I don't know, but you didn't. You stuck with media and radio and stuff. But anyways, he thinks it's a witch hunt. The signatories claim that they were defending sexual freedom, for which liberty to seduce and importune was essential.
Say that again.
The freedom to seduce, mi amour, was importune and essential. It's essential. And so
It's kind of the LePew defense, right?
yeah, I mean, LePew is a known rapist, basically.
LePew was a
I mean,
son of a bitch, wasn't
You
he?
look back at LePew, he's the Aziz Ansari of cartoon skunks. You know what I mean? He would have done the claw on that fucking cat. He would have.
That poor cat.
Pull up LePew. Pull up any cartoon of
She
Pepe
wanted
Le
the
Pew.
hell out of there. Oh, mi amor. That little son of a bitch.
Dude, he was
He was
just-
charming as hell, wasn't he?
Of course he was. What happened? Did
Never
he paint-
stopped.
Did he paint the white stripe on her?
No,
or did-
painters painted the white stripe. They were painting the house or something, and the paint fell perfectly on the cat.
Yeah.
And that son of a bitch fell in love, man.
From your pillow to the shadow
Look at LePew.
of
I
the
love
willow
LePew.
tree.
Yeah, he's my
and
favorite
tiptoe
character.
Really?
Yeah.
Dans les tulips
He's no
avec
Foghorn
moi.
Leghorn.
Oh, he's better.
Bonjour, Monsieur Frog.
Look
Yeah,
at him.
Monsieur
Comment allez-vous this fine morning?
Look at the charm.
And he just stinks. He's got this odor. It freaks everyone out.
Frog is bummed.
When's he gonna run into his girl
The
and freak?
feminine female girl skunk. In the spring, a young man's love lightly turns to thoughts of fancy.
A young man. I love it.
Keep your guard up, chérie.
Keep your guard up,
Hello,
Shelley.
young lover, whoever you are.
He's on a mission, man.
Whoever you are.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
No.
it.
Le Pew. Everyone should have a hobby, don't you think?
Mine is making love.
Mine is making love. You are a girl, I am a boy.
He's kissing
We
her.
have all that in common, darling. May I call you darling?
She's desperately trying to get out of his grasp.
It's very Aziz-like. You're right.
Have you heard of the claw?
Look, she's punching, she's beating him off, but not in a good way.
He's having none of it. He's like, there must be some mistake.
I get the kick out of her. Time to go back for more. Look, he's chasing her up a mountain. This guy's
Doesn't quit.
incorrigible. Anyway, so this French actress goes on to say, I signed this position, and yet it seems to me absolutely necessary today to emphasize my disagreement with the way some petitioners individually claim the right to spread in the media, distorting the very spirit of the text, saying on TV that you can enjoy sex during rape, things like that. She's like, I've been an actress since I was 17. I've witnessed situations more than delicate, blah, 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 blah. I finally signed this for text for a reason that, in my view, is essential. The danger of cleansings in the arts. Willie Burns, Chaudet, and Plelides designate Da Vinci as a pedophile artist and erase his paintings.
Will we?
Unhook Gauchin from museums, destroy Egan Schiele's drawings, prohibit Phil Spector's records.
It seems too far.
This climate of censorship leaves me speechless and worried about the future of our societies. I agree with her. Why don't we take a quick time out? Thank you, E. And check on the guys upstairs. And then we'll come back. Did you see this Victoria Beckham?
Yeah.
That's catching a lot of shit
Absolutely.
right now. Warick Davis as well. We got to get into poor little Warick Davis.
Some fidgetry.
Yeah, there's some fidgetry going on. They're trying to take words from us again, too. So we'll get into that and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. Detroitcast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroitcast, powered by DealsOnTheD.com with Mike and Jay.
Speaking of deals in the D, Mike, it's time to celebrate huge savings during the Auto Show sales event at Zott M59 Chrysler Jeep. With payments this low and Etard's big raise, even he can afford a sweet Jeep. Lease a new loaded 18 Jeep Compass as low as $222 a month. This Compass has it all, including Apple CarPlay, heated leather seats, and heated steering wheel. See details and their massive inventory at DealsInTheD.com.
Damn heated steering wheel.
I know.
Apparently people love that heated steering wheel.
That's what I've been hearing.
We're in the minority. I don't know. I'll give it another whirl if someone wants to heat my steering wheel. Check it out. Are you excited for playoff football?
Wow, what a night last night with Minnesota.
Minnesota.
It's one of the crazier plays you'll ever see.
Dude.
What a whiff!
Oh, it was just
Saint safety. What a whiff! It's like he closed his eyes and just dove.
Yeah, Marcus Williams. That guy's got to be on
man?
suicide watch at this point.
Like, let's pretend he just stood there.
Yeah.
The guy would have ran out of bounds for sure. Diggs would have ran out of bounds.
Yep.
Because he was all about, I got to preserve time, and then he just looked up and saw green.
Looked up at that screen, saw no one.
Coaches were yelling at him, get out of bounds.
I watched after the game. I was going through some of the post game stuff, and they shoot it back to the Fox set, and Jimmy Johnson's there, and Strahan and Bradshaw, all those guys, and Jimmy Johnson was saying that right before that play, the Saints took a timeout, and so that in that moment the coach would have been telling them, look. Whatever you do, don't hit anybody late, early, anything, because that's the only thing that can extend this game is if you do something and then there's an untimed down and there's a penalty and now all of a sudden they're super in field goal range, don't do that. And so these players' mindset would have been going into that final play like, oh, God, I can't light this guy up. And Strahan was trying to defend Williams, the safety, as well, going, to pull up in that moment is really hard. But, boy, it's really hard for anyone, like as a fan, to look at that play and not go, you moron. All you have to do is stop. You can't – you don't want him going out of bounds, and you can't let him get behind you. That's it. Like, tackle the guy, whatever, but you can't just let
do what you did.
Oh, you can't. And the guy was apparently sobbing in the locker room afterwards.
Hope he's still sobbing. He should still be sobbing. If you're a Saints fan, you want him to still be sobbing.
Stephen A. Smith, loudmouth from ESPN. You know Stephen A., right?
Yeah.
He tweeted, this mistake by Marcus Williams, missing that play on Stephon Diggs, may be the absolute worst mistake I've ever seen in NFL postseason history. If it's not the worst, it's certainly up there. All the man had to do was make a tackle, game over. Horrible, horrible error.
I can't think of many that are just a bigger whiff, right? I mean,
we've seen people
drop balls.
Drop a ball. And
seen people fumble at the goal line.
Yes.
Biner for the Browns, famously.
Yes, you had the Cowboys in the end zone, sliding in the end zone in the 70s against Pittsburgh and dropped that ball. We had the Giants-49ers a few years ago where the Niners made a huge comeback, and then on a punt, they're going to get the ball and go down. The guy fields the punt and fumbles it.
Muffs it.
And it's, muffs the punt, recovered by the Giants, kick a field goal. You know what I mean? And the Giants went on as a wild card, I think, to win that Super Bowl that year. And so those things happen, but
to not even touch this guy was so remarkable. He missed him by 2 feet.
Yeah, it was just, and I feel bad. Poor Jen. Oh, poor Jen. He's from he's from China, but he's from New Orleans, and that's where he went to school. Growing up and stuff before moving west. But he is a huge Saints fan. He must have just been. I mean, that has to be that. You as a Lions fan, it's like, yeah, that happens. Yep. Yep, that's how these things usually go. What are you talking about? This is how it ends for your team.
The Saints have quite a history like that, too. I know they've had success in the more recent decades, but, dude, they were forever a shit-ass team.
Oh, the Aints, the years of the Aints.
They invented the bag over the head,
I was going to say, they're the first team I remember. Jets fans did the bag on the head. Lions fans like E have done it. But
Boy,
I think
I think it was the Saints, dude. I really do.
Yeah, the
invented
Saints with Aints. With the tears coming down, like those were.
They were bad.
Yeah, they were really bad.
Archie
and
Manning.
They've had some big whiffs in playoff games too. There was what was the field goal one that was like a 27-yarder against the Bears a few years ago, and it was like a great kicker. I can't think of his name now. And it's just like, just yanks the thing left. And you're like, how do you, it's so lined up, it's 10 feet away. How do you even miss it like that? It's almost hard to do. What are you going to say, E?
Just a garbage bag over the head. I get looking at it. It really is such a comical look, I guess. That
You've done that,
and
right?
I've done it.
Yeah.
I did do it. Never at the Ford Field,
Millen?
but at the
Oh, never-
Silverdome.
okay.
It was always at the Silverdome. But it just, when I think about it now, like I remember like cutting the eye holes out. And
But
then,
you were proud of your bag. You don't regret your bag days.
No, but I'm just...
You were sending a
I was
message.
just kind of thinking about like looking at people in the stands and the notion that people are wearing paper bags over their head.
Were people in
but
back of you pissed?
No.
Hey, asshole, get it. I get it. Take the bag off your head, all right? I
couldn't
can't
even-
see.
I don't think it affected their view. I
See,
mean,
I would think like you've got the two.
You don't think
eyes
like 2 more
cut
feet
out.
on top of your shoulders affect the
I
person's
cut
view?
no, because I mean I cut it down to shoulder. Like I didn't just.
You had like
leave
a
it
head
then-
formed fitting bag?
Yeah, I didn't just have it
Wow.
like left.
Did you have like a party store bag or something?
No, I remember.
Did you have the traditional Chatham bag?
Next time-
I cut it down so it was literally just like ended.
Dude,
at
that's
the
not
top.
a good look, dude. You got to have the whole bag. You can't
Yeah,
cut it
yeah.
down
Well,
to the
I-
top of your.
I
Dude,
guess I
you
did.
failed with your bag, man.
Yeah. Next time he should do the plastic bag and let us
Yeah.
tie it around his neck. We'll
tie
send you to a
that thing.
playoff game and
Yeah.
have you sitting there. And
Well, they got to make a playoff game. Why would I have a bag tied to my head when they're in a playoff game?
well, I don't know. It's just a thought. We're working on it still. Did you think it was a bit much for Diggs? Diggs scores the touchdown, throws his helmet, and then he might still be on the field.
He wept.
He was weeping for the cameras. All glory to God, first off. God was a humongous Vikings fan.
The most awesome part of that whole thing was the fact that the Vikings had to come back on the field to kick the extra point.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
and you
yeah.
and I were watching this, and we swore to God, the very same God that loves the Vikings, apparently,
Yeah.
that some of those guys running out of the tunnel for the Saints were equipment guys.
Yeah.
That number 80.
Number 80, there was something
Have we
going
looked
on.
him up? Look up number 80, Isis.
Yeah.
I think that was an equipment guy.
Which, dude, if the call comes in and you're in the locker
Fuck
room.
yes, I'm out there.
Dude, if they said,
Go play an NFL snap? Yes.
all right, I'm Marcus Williams, and they're like, Marcus, we need you back on the field.
I can't do it, man.
I can't do it, man. I'm devastated. I've got acne all over my face. I've been sobbing for 10 minutes. And he looks over at Jay, the equipment manager, and goes, man, will you do me a solid, dog?
Yes.
I mean, dude, how fast? What extent do you go to? You're going full on pants, socks, cleats. Eye black? Do you go eye black? I think you might.
Thing is, it was such a hustle job. You'd have to have still some part of a non-uniform on. You know what I mean? You'd still
Yeah.
have to go like, I don't know, pants over your regular pants or something.
Whatever.
Have your jogging
Whatever.
pants sticking out of the bottom.
Dude, just to
But
say,
yeah, I played an NFL snap.
in an NFL playoff game.
Yeah.
And to run
Played for
out
the
there,
Saints.
the guy didn't even know where to line up. He was just kind of sauntering around in the background, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Well, what about the fact that caused a bunch of money
I know,
to people too?
I know. Yeah, that's a lot of people were pissed off at that. That it was like, oh, nice, you decided to take a knee and be all gentlemanly and stuff. Don't want to humiliate the Saints more, but thanks, dick faces. The over was X, or what was it, a 5.5 point spread, and that would have put it at 6. So anybody that bet on the Vikings to win by 6 and took the over would have won had they kicked that extra point.
I don't know what this arrow is exactly pointing. I guess that is an image from.
Yeah. This guy here is the
Yeah.
troubling one.
Yeah.
This guy over here, he doesn't know where he's supposed to be.
Bottom left.
He might be wearing dress shoes. I'm not sure. He's got wristbands and a towel on, and he just kind of looks out of place. But who's going to call him out on it? I mean, they just needed bodies out there.
So they only got 8 men on the field for that?
Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, I don't blame him for not wanting to take the field again, but I guess it's a sportsman, gentlemanly thing to do. But what a crazy last 3 minutes.
Yeah, it really
that game
was.
3-0-1 to have 4 lead changes or whatever. God, I love playoff football. I really do.
Hey, how much money will you need in retirement? Are you sure you won't outlive your money? Having a plan today means that you can adjust as your life changes. Retirement doesn't have to be a mystery. Contact Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial today to learn the answer to one of the most important questions for your retirement. Call today, 248-626-2000. Ask for our buddy Merck.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Look at this poops.
I know.
Look at this
That little
poops.
Warick Davis.
Yeah. Warick Davis is thanking everybody for their tremendous support today. Someone caught a picture of Warick Davis. Warick Davis was an Ewok?
Yeah, he was famously
In
played
Star
the
Wars?
Ewok, and then he played
Hobbit?
I'm sure he's been a Hobbit.
Yeah.
But he was also in Willow. He was the
Willow
main
was his
character in
big
Willow.
one. Yeah. And he had the who's the guy you love? Ricky Gervais did that show featuring Warick Davis, right?
Oh,
Is
I
that
didn't
the
know
one where Warick Davis is trying to get work and Ricky Gervais and Steven are just assholes to him?
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
they won't. Dude, it's funny as shit. And Warick Davis apparently represents all the little people in Hollywood, and he's got an office, and they're always mad at him because he's not getting work. And when work comes in, he takes it himself. And so one of those deals. But anyway, Warwick, someone took a picture of his family on the red carpet and just tweeted, "Oh my God, Warick Davis has got a full midget family." Look at these wisps.
Wow, without leashes, they're out on the town, huh?
Look, is his daughter trying to hotten things up with her titties out?
Definitely she is.
Are those 6-inch heels? Look at those stilettos, dude, on his daughter.
Is that a thing? Like, you think there's like a bunch of guys out there who are like, hell yeah, I'd bang that thing
course.
for sure.
Are you, yes.
For the story, E, for the story.
I don't have a
Just
problem.
look at her, dude. She's miniature.
Look at this. Look at this, E.
I know.
Check this chick out with her tits on display and these giant heels. And what's going on with his kid's shoes here?
Oh, I know. Everybody's shopping in Baby Gap.
Yeah. So anyway, someone tweets this out. Oh my God, it's a full midget family. And
Yeah, I mean, his daughter's got. How old is she?
Would you bang that, E?
How old is his daughter?
Like, she's of age, for
Okay.
sure. Let's say she's 19 or something.
She's got some nice titties.
yeah.
She does.
E, nothing's proportioned. It's all effed up, man.
But
I know
think-
her face sort of looks normal. Come on,
hold your
E.
ground.
I definitely
for the
would.
story.
No, I definitely
for the
would.
story.
I think she's attractive.
Yeah. Boy, E at 6'3" or whatever would look absurd with a 3'2" girl. Warwick is seriously a head shorter than his wife,
Yeah.
and she's wearing flats. You notice that?
Absolutely.
She can never wear anything but flats.
The kid doesn't his kid kind of look like that guy from
Jerry Maguire?
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Bees
The
smell
the
fear.
human head.
Yeah.
Weighs 8 pounds or something. Anyway, so apparently Warwick is just furious about this. Oh my God, look at his midget
About
family.
being called midgets?
Midget family, yeah.
Oh, that's not PC, is it? How
And-
about fidget?
So he's like,
Twitter is supposed to have clamped down on this.
on this.
You can't say midget on Twitter? Are
No.
you kidding me?
So he reported this twice. Even after reporting this twice
Reporting
and
what?
explaining how offensive the word midget is to so many short-statured individuals.
Short stature.
I like short-statured individuals better than midget, personally. I do. You understand the problem with this, don't you, Warwick? Short-statured individuals has more play to be offensive than midget even at this point. So he starts bitching with this. They continue to allow the tweet below to remain on the user's timeline. And so anyway, Twitter, it goes around. Of course, we have to all jump to Warwick's defense for his midget family and be offended with him. And Twitter's like, oh, we finally looked at this, and boy, this goes against our policies of good taste or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they yanked the tweet down, and now Warwick is ecstatic. Luke himself tweeted, about how Warwick and his family are beautiful people.
Also known as Mark Hamill.
Right. And he wants to be on the right side of history for these sort of Twitter debates. And, I kind of thought the same thing. Like, do we really want Twitter Twitter is just a shitstorm. You say something, it's not even offensive, and
Yeah, boy, midget? You
20
can't say
people.
midget. You can't call a midget family midgets?
yeah.
On Twitter?
I mean,
Dude.
it's at his expense.
The
I
point
get
of
it.
Twitter then.
But yeah, if you can't, I mean, is fuck you's okay, but like midget isn't because it's
And they're a
directed at
midget
him?
family.
They are.
I gotta.
I don't know.
Every
like,
last one of them.
So if the same picture was tweeted and it said, "Fuck you" at Warick Davis, is that his name?
Yeah, you short-statured individual.
Or didn't even mention the midgetry, or off your leashes or anything.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Just said,
no
like-
gnashing of teeth. Nothing.
Fuck you, Warick Davis, and your stupid family.
Yeah, Ewoks suck.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Hashtag fuck Willow. Hashtag Ewoks blow. Hashtag go fuck yourself. Like, that wouldn't be taken down.
No.
So it's strictly about, hey, at Warick Davis, oh my God, he's got a full midget family. And that's like, stop everything. you know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine tweeting that? Like, oh my God.
It is kind of hilarious. Oh my God! Period. Warick Davis has got a full midget family, and then the picture of a full smiling midget family is there. It is.
I know.
Can't dispute
I know.
it. It's not like, wait a minute, I think that one's full grown.
It's indisputable.
No, they all are.
What if he would have said fidget?
I think he would take issue with that. I think he'd see through it. I think he's been around the block, and he would see what you're doing. I saw what you did there, sir. This is offensive. I just don't like the idea of, like, complaining to Twitter, like, man, someone was mean. It's like, dude, people write horrible shit about me on Twitter. They call me fat every day. They call me racist or stupid or
Weight
ugly.
is a protected characteristic in Michigan, just as height is.
So should I complain to Twitter every time someone
should.
does that? Shames me a bit?
Yeah.
But
Our mean listeners.
I will say, when I looked at this other image of her, I'm not as becoming.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. It's like
don't back down now, E.
No, I'm saying I thought from dead on, I thought she was actually hot.
Dude,
and then when I saw this side view, I wasn't as flattered.
It's an interesting species.
E, don't listen to Jay. What you need
I'm
to
not
focus
saying I wouldn't do
on-
it for the story still, but I was saying originally I thought she legitimately was attractive,
Right.
and now I'm saying in this image I don't know that I agree with that.
Just all you need to focus on is just imagine how good you're gonna feel when you realize how huge your dong looks in her hand.
Yeah, great
mouth.
point.
You're gonna be just like, yeah. When she can't even get the head down because it's just like, like that moment, you're just gonna feel awesome. E.
I
She has
understand
a strange
that.
posture, doesn't she?
Well, it doesn't help that her butt is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm being dicks now. Stop it. Beautiful family of
Sure, they're fine people.
small statured individuals. He didn't deserve that today.
Beautiful collection thereof.
Do you have time for this?
Sure. Victoria Beckham's shocking pictures.
Yeah, this is a rather disturbing. You ever see?
I thought it was kind of done with that whole heroin chic kind of model look.
You ever run into one of those in the wild? These like a true runway model, and they're rare. You don't see them in the wild very often. I ran into one at a grocery store once.
What?
Yeah, and it was just you just knew by the look, like, oh, that girl. Like,
why was she at the grocer?
I don't.
People do that. She doesn't eat, does she?
No, she was with a man, and I swear to God, she was 6'5", not an inch shorter. She was so tall,
Amazonian,
beautiful, but just like that really model heroin skinny look, and it was like, holy fuck, this girl is gigundous. She's huge, and so are a lot of these. So Victoria Beckham, she was a Spice Girl, right? That's her claim to fame, and now she's married to the soccer player. Well, she's got an ad that she's one of these that does a lot of social media advertising for clothing line or whatever, and so they're advertising a fall line of new glass eyewear, spectacles. And so one of the models she's got that's bespectacled,
Sure.
Bespected? Wearing glasses.
Bespectacled.
Yeah. Is this girl that looks waif thin, like not
Of course,
like,
we have the profile too. It's not even like you're front on.
But even when you're not looking at the profile one, it's like, holy shit, that girl just looks sick.
Yeah.
Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. But apparently it's for VB Eyewear collection. These glasses are like, I don't know, closing in on $300 a pair. Is that a lot for glasses?
No.
No?
Yeah, $300 a pair.
Yeah.
That Easus is like probably $250, righty? Those goofy ass normcore things you're wearing?
Definitely be, yeah, and maybe, honestly.
Just the frames?
Yeah.
But this, people are taking a lot of issue, and I guess when she posted this on social media, people were just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, how can you think that this is acceptable to post a woman like this?
Supposed to be looking at the eyewear, Mike.
I know, but it's hard to look at the eyewear when the surrounding...
We're all different shapes and sizes, as Warick Davis just taught us.
It's right. And I actually thought about this model because it's absolutely possible that she's just one of those people that is super skinny and super tall. Those people exist too. And it's like, well, so what? She can't have a career because she's super
Too skinny.
She's too skinny, and no matter what she eats filet o fishes and Big Macs all day long, and it doesn't matter. She's going to look like that. But I guess Victoria came out years ago and was like, it's going to be real body image for my models and blah, blah, blah. And she was getting a lot of press for shunning that super thin look.
Right.
Because it's an impossible body style for young girls to try to attain. And so people are really shitting on her. Do you have a problem with
So is the whole campaign like that, or is it just the one image of this?
As far as I know, that's the one image. She's probably got other images of other products or whatever, but this one is the one that got all the heat. Yeah, they were calling her. So anyway, people are like, we don't blame the model, but it's bullshit.
It is kind of interesting that it's the eyewear they're selling, though. You know what I mean? It would be. Is it different? I think in my mind it is. If they're selling the clothes and they're trying to drape them on this ultra skinny person, like, oh, this is our ideal.
Yeah.
This is what you ought to look like wearing our clothes.
Yeah.
But it's an eyewear. And you're right, dude. What if she's just a skinny? She's a very nice woman, has a very beautiful face with her. You know, looks great with the glasses. The frames.
And Coulter. And Coulter is stork-like, skinny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that girl could eat anything she wants, and she's just going to be that body style. You know? And she's going to comb her hands.
Oh, my God.
She would have never said that. Once you mentioned that to me, it's all I can see, dude.
Just constantly hand through the hair.
And Clarissa, who's fucking Newt Gingrich's wife? Dude, you've ruined Newt Gingrich and you've ruined Ann Coulter for me because you pointed out two things. Ann Coulter cannot stop putting her fingers through her fucking hair.
Newt has to mention his wife.
Yes, and he does.
Callista.
And every time I read an article, she's mentioned in an article. There's some weird.
Yeah, she's the ambassador to the Vatican. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. But it's not. It's like forced. It's like, well, I think that blah blah blah. The Republicans need to do this and that, and I was talking to Clarissa the other night. And I really mean this. The Democrats need to come together with the Republicans. It's like, wait a minute. Why was Callista mentioned again?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Why not?
Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird partnership.
Yeah.
It's a Mrs. Hockey sort of thing.
I don't know what to make of this. I guess this picture here would have been more troubling 2 years ago when this is all that models looked like.
Yeah.
I think
it's been a while, hasn't it? More than 2 years, I feel like.
I mean that there's been a lot of representation. We've really gone out of our way to have that
big fat ass.
The big fat ass is well represented.
Yeah. What's his name's daughter?
Hasselhoff's
daughter. Oh my God.
Yeah. The Benetton commercial, is that what
Don't say Benetton. I'm gonna get a boner just
I know,
thinking
about it. But we've gone out of our way to have like body styles represented everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think you see that. You see that playing out. It's praised. It's laughed at by us, but it's praised by most.
Why not represent the skinny one here? I mean, that's the point. Like,
she's probably at home sobbing, sitting in her bathtub with her legs dangling.
What am I supposed to do? I try to gain weight.
I tried so hard.
I try to have a big fat ass.
I have a pretty face, and I can't help it. Look at me. I've done everything.
She's a wisp.
Yeah, she
absolute
is.
Wisp.
Yeah. Let's see. Were you guys disappointed over the weekend at the loss of Keith Jackson?
Keith indeedy doody.
Yes, indeedy doody. Been working on my Keith Jackson.
Yeah?
What do you think of it? Whoa, Nelly.
The corn-fed hoss from Nebraska.
Oh, that's good. I've been working on this one. Hello, husband.
That's
like
pretty
that
good,
one?
yeah.
It's not bad. That's when Desmond Howard.
Yeah.
Hello, husband. I was watching all those clips. I was like...
Yeah, I liked his voice. It was cool.
But he doesn't... It's like Desmond breaks free, has this amazing run.
No description thereof.
He crosses the end zone, and it's like, hello, husband. And then Desmond goes into the pose, and then it's just like...
Well, it's TV.
Crowd cheering for 3 minutes. It's like...
But maybe that's his thought. Maybe he has a more simplistic view on how to call
medium.
a game. It's not radio. I will say with him, to me, the Rose Bowl, that is the one thing where I do wish, like, I was always bummed once he was done with the Rose Bowl. Like, to me, his voice in the Rose Bowl.
The granddaddy of them all.
Yeah.
I've been working on that with the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah.
Do I have that?
That's pretty good.
Yes, indeedy doody.
I liked him, man.
Yeah, I did too.
It's bad to see him go.
Yeah, I liked it, too, how he was like, all right, I'm done. I'm 70. I've got tons of money. I've lived in the same house for 50 years, and I don't want to be on a plane anymore. I'm done traveling. And they're like, whoa, Nelly, Keith. Whoa, Nelly. How about we just let you focus on games in the pack?
He's like, no.
But he stayed. He stayed for
some
some
extra...
did? Yeah,
I thought he was done, man. I
and then you're right. Then he did just like the Rose Bowl for a few years, and then finally he really was
Well, he
done.
would do Pac-10 games. He would do games really close to his house, so he didn't have to fly. He could just kind of go over there, do a UCLA game or an SC game or something, and then he would do the Rose Bowl. His last bowl game that he ever called, do you remember what that was?
Dude,
it was a pretty big one, man.
No idea.
Texas SC in that awesome game with Vince Young at the end running that touchdown and back and forth. But a lot of people think it's the greatest bowl game ever played. A lot of people think that. And that was his swan song. He went out on that game. So He died over the weekend. That's sad. He was one that
Died during sex? How'd he die? What?
I don't know. I don't know that they've said
Died
yet.
jogging, skydiving, what? Hang gliding?
He was 89. He died Friday. That's all they've
Probably
said.
went for a jog, didn't come back.
He didn't flip his vet. That's all we know. He didn't flip his vet going down Ventura Boulevard. It wasn't that. I'm imagining he died peacefully in his sleep, surrounded by family.
Some malady.
What he says is, "Whoa, Nelly." Very overrated. He's like, maybe once or twice early in my career I
Really?
said that. I guess it was Roy Firestone and then impersonators picked up Whoa Nelly, and the story got blown out like, when he was a young lad growing up in, the fields of Georgia or whatever, he had a horse named Nelly.
Yeah.
And that's what and he's like, no, it is true I did have a horse, but his name was like,
I honestly think more of, the big corn-fed horse from Nebraska.
Yeah.
Statements like that.
Yes.
Just he had a way of...
Didn't he? Oh, the Big Uglies. Was
Yes,
was
the
he
Big Uglies,
The Big
for sure,
Uglies?
yeah.
He was somehow was a big fan of Michigan too, wasn't he? Like
Seemed like it.
Schembechler guy. Maybe it was those big linemen that he loved. But I know that when he retired, he went on one of those.
Who back then were probably like 280 pounds.
Right. Oh, look at those Big Uglies. But he was getting one of those like every stadium he went to, it was like, Keith's retiring. Give him whatever.
Tour.
Yeah. And so I guess Schembechler had a jersey and a helmet autographed for him, and the band spelled out "Thanks, Keith." And
That's creative.
yeah, he's one of those old school broadcast guys that you respect, where it's like, I've got my opinion, but it doesn't matter. I keep it to myself, and I'm here to broadcast the game. And you see that out of a lot of those guys, those old school dudes that they don't, he personally thought, fuck this bowl season bullshit. You need to have a full playoff system in college football.
Really? You thought that early?
Yeah, he did. But he never said anything on the air. He was like, look, it's not my decision to make, and I'm not going to get into the politics of it. I'm here to broadcast the game. And, that's what you get out of those Vin Scullys and
just pros.
Yeah, they're just
Dick
pros.
Enbergs.
They're not Don Lemons. They're capable of doing a job and not being too emotionally involved. So, anyway, yeah, it's sad loss. We all respected Keith Jackson.
Hey, got to tell you about the Hamlin Pub. 5 locations: Clarkston, Chesterfield, Rochester, 2 in Shelby Township. Hamlin Pub offers a wide selection of craft beers. Most are brewed right here in Michigan. They have great happy hour specials at Hamlin Pubs Monday through Friday, 2 to 6. Half off appetizers on Monday. So check out all their specials. Go to all 5 locations. Go to hamlinpubs.com for more info.
Jay, do you have to get out of here? Do you want to do some quick email and get out of here?
Quick email, then I got to run, man.
Yeah,
email at detroitcast.com if you'd like to speak with us. Let's get to it. Craig writes in, Fred, Wilma, and Scooby. Hey, Scoob! Please let the cult leader know that the methodical breakdown of the Wahlberg-Williams controversy was the most honest, thought-out, logical explanation I've ever heard anywhere in the media on the subject. Of course, this was the $150 million or the $1.5 million that Wahlberg was paid to reshoot.
Yeah, does he mean our discussion?
He meant, yeah,
wow.
In specific, yours, Mike.
Well,
yeah,
Jay was a big part of it,
One would
too.
hope that women hearing the discussion would know that they need to demand more and not just wait around for someone with power to hand them a cookie. Oh, Craig, this sounds very condescending.
Yeah, that got
we all must find.
I'm still on board, though.
We all must find a place in this world we can provide a service or product that someone else places value in and is willing to pay for. No matter how much we think we deserve it, it all boils down to what someone else is willing to pay for it. The goal is to make sure that you can offer something worth paying for. Huzzah! To the leader. Let the truth be told, Craig.
There you go. That's right. Can't say that's not accurate.
Randy writes in, greetings, gentlemen. I was recently listening to the best of episode around the new year and have thought of another possibility in how the lady was killed while having sex with her husband in the hot tub. Now, recall,
I love that story.
Yeah, recall the chick who was getting married in Mexico. She flew her whole family down there, and her parents drown in the hotel hot tub.
Yes.
And she has to call off her wedding, which was supposed to occur the next day.
So Dad starts banging Mom in the hot tub. He has a heart attack and dies. On top of her,
they're not exactly sure. Remember, we speculated as to how she then drowned and what position are you in?
We had them doggy in the hot tub.
Well, Randy has some
collapsed.
feelings, and this is worth listening to. Randy says, my theory was that the woman was sitting down with her head back to the tub, okay? But her legs were on the guy's chest or shoulders as he was standing and ramming her, either vaginally or anally.
Probably anally, but continue.
That's a good position if you haven't tried it, by the way, says Randy.
All positions in a hot tub are It's overrated.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah, water sex is just overrated in general.
Anyway, the man then had a heart attack, which caused him to fall forward. This caused him to push her legs up and forward. So she's like in a V now.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, oh, and then she's being pushed underwater, right? Which then caused her head to get pulled under the water. Since the man fell on her and his weight was pinning her legs up, she couldn't get her head above water and subsequently drowned.
And we're talking dead weight now, too. It's heavy stuff.
That's sound reasoning, Randy.
But if they go in the water, it would be much easier to move him, right? Like in water, you could lift a lot of weight underwater.
Yeah,
but
I'm picturing a big man, a large
he's
man.
a big man. He's
You
a
know?
big boy. Yep.
Here's to a prosperous and affirming new year for all of you at the Detroit Cast. Well, thank you, Randy.
Either way, just imagine walking in on your wedding day like, Mom, are you almost ready? And finding them like that and then having to call it off and explain to the guests why.
Oh, they're bloated. They're...
They're nude. Dad's inserted into one of the holes. You hope a vagine, but at this point, there's so much bad news. It's probably an anus.
Oh my God!
And
it's an anus.
And
Isn't
if you
it?
think
it
people that
probably
aren't
is, and you know, in that thing can lock, and so that now they're stuck. We've seen that.
They're floating.
Yeah, and now I think at the time
They've
we
released
decided.
their bowels.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
So it's
a
like
mess.
diarrhea filled.
Sure. And I believe we ended that story going, I don't think you can marry that guy. I think you need to cut ties. That like you could never look at your husband again without thinking, oh yeah, oh tell me about your wedding night. Oh well, phew. With the first time we tried to have our wedding night or the second? Which one do you mean?
And it's like if you think that people that aren't related, like a few, like you're gonna be devastated, but dude, there's gonna be people talking at that wedding.
Spread like wildfire.
Dude, the
The
people that are just
speculation,
like,
the conjecture.
Dude, you and I would be sitting next to each other at a wedding like that, and there's not a chance on fucking God's green earth.
We'd have done what Randy just did. We'd have speculated all night long, like, okay, I bet her legs were up.
We would have
just pounding her in the ass.
We would have been sniggering like you would have just heard sniggering from this
snigger.
from this whole. I say snigga. I put the H on the end. Snigga. But we would have been snigging the whole time. You would have just heard whispers and like trying to fake cover a snigger with a with a laugh with a.
And everyone would know.
Terrible situation.
It's the elephant in the room.
Dude, you can't fake cough a snigger away and expect that the rest of the room isn't going to know what's going on and what you're sniggering about.
Mark writes in, greetings, gentlemen, and Big E. I'm writing in regard to episode 970, in which you guys were going off on the rant against employees of the Today Show and the fact that they had to know about Matt Lauer's exploits.
Sure.
So we were like, dude, somebody there had to know, right?
Of course.
This really has nothing to do with the topic itself, but more about the if I find all this clip. I think it had been some time since you had used the if I find drop. But it just so happens that for whatever reason, I had been annoying my wife for a few days prior by beginning my sentences with said phrase when anything mildly controversial came up. Don't we all do that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what wives put up with, you know what I mean?
I know. Nothing cracks me up more, though, when I say something to one of you guys, like say something to Jenny, goes, what? And it's all of a sudden, it just becomes
Bag
like,
up. Yeah, it just becomes part of your daily life.
If I find.
All right, so Mark continues. So much so was he doing this that I actually woke up in the morning saying, if I find, etc., by the roots. Thank you very much. Several times, much to her exasperation. This poor wife. I'm not sure what it was, but I found myself so in tune with the, if I find, drop that as the Matt Lauer discussion reached a crescendo, I thought this would be the perfect time if they launched into the, if I find, drop. Then, not to disappoint, and much to my delight, you guys nailed it. Played said drop at the perfect moment.
If I find or hear the individual that has said that about me, I will pull your goddamn tongue out of the roots. Thank you very much.
Well, I think it was the wording by the president of the company. He said something like, and if I've had
something like that,
anyone who has known about this information does not come forward, they will pay like extreme consequences or some bullshit. But all you have to, if I read it, and if I've had,
this simultaneously made me think I must have reached veteran listener status, says Mark, and vindicated my personal excessive use of the drop. So much so that I recorded your use of the clip that day and passed it on to my wife as if to say, see?
Yeah, it's not just me.
Needless to say, she wasn't amused.
Why? What's wrong with these wives who are not amused? If I had, by the roots, thank you very much. It's hilarious.
Dude, I think what a lot of wives, including mine, find is that they're just peppered with this shit all day long. Like, they demand more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they need
It's not like the stuff for Gab. It can't be repetitive.
Yeah.
She'll laugh at the first couple, and then it's
Yeah.
like, got it, dude. You got to
Yeah.
crack me up some other way.
It's like when
I've
it's like
I've
6
wasted
inches.
so much comedy. Yo, dude.
It's like,
yeah.
you know,
No, that's so old to her.
You know, it will get a chuckle out of this room for eternity. It just will. When Jay stands up to go, 9 inches, well, hold on.
Divide that in half, and then
Cut that in half. Like, it's going to get at least a smile out of the room forever.
a snigger.
Yes, exactly. Fair enough. It's like,
Mark continues. Don't get me wrong.
Can you lend a snigger a pencil?
I don't think it's excessive, and I think it's well placed when used, as you guys aren't a drop-heavy show in general. So keep up the good work, mixing it in at the proper time, and I'm going to see if I can guess the next time it's used just before it happens to further cement my veteran listener status. Thanks for everything, guys. Keep up the good work, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. It's a well-constructed email.
It was very well constructed,
and if
explained. Hey, gentlemen, I got to run, but you guys finish up, all right?
Okay.
See you all
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Jay. Is there any other email there we should touch on, or should we just save it for you tomorrow?
Save it for tomorrow.
Okay. Isis, you want to slide in here?
Sure.
You want to sit in Jay's seat?
No.
You'll get there as soon as he walks out the door, though. So.
What do you want me to do?
Well, now it's been made awkward.
You
can
made it
stay
awkward.
there. You can stay there. You know, I was watching yesterday. I've been meaning for all of us to talk about the Lions and the head coaching move. It looks like Matt Patricia is more and more going to be the Lions head coach. He's the Patriots. What is he? He's the electrical engineer, auto whatever engineer.
he's a
super smart guy.
Rocket scientist.
Rocket scientist with the beard, with the big beard. But the fact that the Lions have not done any other interviews, they've been very quiet. Other teams have hired coaches, and this guy is sitting there. And obviously, the Lions can't make a move until New England is out of the postseason, which would be probably the Super Bowl. So you couldn't do a deal with anyone on that staff until the 5th of February is when you could technically sign anyone. But it's not like there's this carousel of coaches coming in like, oh, they interviewed so-and-so on Tuesday. They got so-and-so coming in on Wednesday.
My thought on that, and I don't listen to that much, I'm not a sports expert, but I guess my thought on that probably would be is that the general manager who came from the Patriots didn't really want Lloyd Carr.
He wouldn't want Lloyd Carr either. You're talking about Jim Caldwell.
Caldwell, and maybe the reality is he didn't want him from when he got here. And even though there was technically an extension given, I guess, over the summer, who knows about that even. So my point would be is that I wonder if this is just something he wanted to do 2 years ago and just maybe couldn't.
Yeah, that's a good
he already
point
knew what he
because
wanted.
there were a lot of people talking about that, like, oh, what's he going to do with Caldwell? Because Caldwell was only a couple years in at that point, and he finally came out after a while. There was a while that went by where it was like an unknown future for a lot of these coaches, and then it was like, yeah, we're going to keep Caldwell and blah, blah, blah. But clearly, and anytime you bring someone, see you, Jay, anytime you bring someone in to be a part of your, who's going to start running this, you can imagine, dude, it's like, that's what you do is you gut the inner workings, and it's like you line it with your people.
Well, I know people that are Lions haters. That was one of the biggest things that people were mad about, because you bring in this new general manager, and there was the worry that Martha Ford is just, I like Jim Caldwell. He's a nice guy, which is how the Lions have done with Fonts. They've done it with other people. So I know that was a lot of people's biggest gripe right off the bat, that this new general manager comes in and he's not it looked like maybe he wasn't even allowed to hire the coach that he wants. Usually people want their guys because it's their asses on the line.
And you see that in all lines of work. It's not exclusive to the NFL, but it's more magnified in the NFL. I can't help but wonder if race had anything to do with that. You know what I mean? Like, not in a bad way, but if it was just like, he's only been here a couple years. He's got multiple years on a contract. He's done a decent job. He's one of only a handful of African-American coaches in the NFL. Does it look bad as a franchise to just be like, fuck him, cut him, get him out of here, and then bring in my guy who happens to be white?
I really don't, honestly. But
I think it's
Martha Ford.
But
I think it's Martha Ford. I really believe that she liked him. That's how they've been for a while. And I know, not that Valenti's the only person to talk about, but I tend to listen to him on the way home from here. And I know his thought on this was 100%. If Caldwell's not gone on this, then either one of two things. And that's one, Quinn doesn't know what he's doing and is overrated, or two, Martha Ford, he can't do what he really wants to do, and Martha Ford is just telling him, no, I like him.
I think I've seen enough from Quinn that I like.
I do too.
I think that would be a tough position to be put in, to be in charge of this organization. And you've got someone here that's helped turn things around a little bit. Signs are pointing in the right direction. I can understand why you would take a break and go, fuck, do I give this a year or two? And
I don't mind him giving...
see where we go here before I just blow everybody out.
Right.
I don't really fault him for that, but the fact that we're getting so much out of, well, I guess not so much free agency, yes and no, but draft picks, where you're seeing guys that were 6th round or 7th round guys making a contribution. That's a huge sign.
But it doesn't mean it's on Caldwell. And
no. I mean, that's Quinn. That's a positive for Quinn.
I
agree.
Bob Quinn. And what would you say, like, get rid of a person because he's started to right the ship? Which you're right. I mean, Jim Caldwell's the winningest coach in Lions history. But like the Pistons needed to get rid of Rick Carlisle to go to Larry Brown to win that title.
Totally.
And
the Raiders just did it by blowing out, what's his name, longtime Raider, to bring in John Gruden.
It doesn't mean I don't even dislike Caldwell as much as some people do.
Me either.
But I do think he should have been gone. I don't think that he should have came back.
Well, this is a tough one because there's always coordinators in the NFL that people will go, oh, he's the next genius in the NFL. He's the next guy. He's the one that everyone's hot after.
And not a lot. Nobody.
And dude, without head coaching experience, Caldwell at least has. You know what you get with Caldwell. No matter how bad it gets, Caldwell's not going to fucking lose his mind and give that, I don't coach that stuff. He's not going to freak out at a press conference. He's not going to.
Oh, he was kind of an asshole.
Pro. Yeah, sure. They all are.
I know.
They all are, in a sense. You knew what you got with him. He didn't like talking to the fucking media, and he doesn't want to get into a. He's not going to give you a lot that you can spit back at him. He's just a coach and a pro. That's what Caldwell is. You can disagree with this play call or that play call.
Yeah.
But on the whole, the moment's not too big for a Jim Caldwell. He's been there before. My only concern, and I hope Bob Quinn gets his guy, and I hope he's great, and I hope the franchise goes on to great success. Honestly do. But I worry when it's like, Josh McDaniels, the hot new shit, or, Steve Mariucci, or who was the guy that we brought? Morningweg. Morningweg was the fucking end-all, be-all. And these guys can be end-all, be-all, tremendous coordinators and not be the leader that you need to run all aspects of an organization.
You're right. And I think Morningweg has gone on success. Wasn't
they
it with
all
Philadelphia?
have.
No, but like Bobby Ross didn't do anything. I don't think.
A lot of those lines.
But I think Morningweg did. And the
Morningweg and who's the other guy that patted fucking Harbaugh on the back?
Oh,
Harbaugh patted him on the back. Jim Schwartz.
Yeah,
Jim
he's
Schwartz
doing
is
good,
killing it.
But not as like a main coach, right?
No,
he's
they're
doing
coordinators
in their role.
Yep.
That is the one thing, and the other thing I believe, from what I know, nobody has come out of the New England tree and done anything. It's all been, from what I think someone was telling me that. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's been not good so far that's come out of.
Who do you had the fat guy that went to Notre Dame?
Yeah.
That kind of bombed
Kelly.
out there. Well, not Kelly. Who's the one before that even?
Wasn't him?
No.
I don't know. I'm not going to know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm not going to know the names. I'm just not. From what I've heard, it's not been like Bill Belichick hasn't had these people gone out and done a lot, but I don't know. Well, I'm excited. I think I feel like Bob Quinn seems to think this is probably the guy, and that's my thought. My thought really is maybe he knew this 2 years ago that, hey, I'm in a situation, I'll let this Caldwell thing go a little bit, but if it doesn't, this is who I think I already want. That would be my take on it.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. I think that's the right take on it. I just hope, I think you're taking a risk with a coordinator, and that's fine. That's not our decision to make, and obviously Quinn and the upper management know more than we do. So if they think he's ready, then so be it. And he worked with them for a lot of years, 15 years or so in New England. So that's okay. The only thing I worry about is usually when you're bringing in a new coach, you've got a franchise that is shit. It's in the toilet. And I honestly believe, and Lions fans can laugh at me all they want, I don't think the Lions are that far away. I don't think that they are. I think it's the plum job in the NFL right now. People are like, oh, Patricia might be more interested in the Giants job. Why? Why would you be? Unless it's just I want to be in New York. Fine. The Lions organization right now, I think, is the one where you could make you should be in the playoffs, and all you got to do is win 2 games in the playoffs, and you'll be a fucking legend in this town.
Some people just look at the ownership, though. The ownership of New York is better than the Fords, probably, and the market's better.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, dude, trust me. I just don't know enough. I'm not a guy that watches enough names to know who's out there that they should be.
Dude, I don't want to bank
after.
my... you've got Eli Manning. I wouldn't want to... Eli Manning is on the downslide. I would not want Eli as my quarterback. Beckham's injured and has issues. That seems like a team that's going to fall off more than it's going to be relevant. And so my thought is, dude, the Lions, they're not Cincinnati or Cleveland. They're not a franchise that is so destitute and years away. The Lions are right there. There's, in my opinion, this year with a running game, and I know, wow, breaking news, they could have done a lot more than they did. You've got Stafford in his prime.
Yeah.
Dude, this team should be able to make some serious leaps and bounds. So, I don't know. And I think they could have done that with Caldwell, too, though, for the record. So
I kind of don't, but whatever.
Yeah.
But again, dude,
We'll
I'm just
never
not
know,
a guy
E.
who's
We'll never
gonna
know.
Yeah, true.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
We've gone long enough. I've kept you guys here long enough. Thank you, E, and thank you, Jay, if you ever hear this, for hanging out all day long while we were getting this stuff done here. But it's nice to have running water again. So with that, we will do it again tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. See you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.